Hey, good guys. Hope you guys are doing great. You're doing fine, and hope everything is moving on as planned. Thank you so much for this channel. Thank you for liking, sharing, and welcome back to this channel. So, today we're going to learn about something. Stani. Today, no. We are going to learn about babies. How do this little one acquire their language? How do they learn how to speak? How do they understand words? So today we're going to look at something called it's is it language something? So we're going to look at something called language acquisition. What is all this about language acquisition? How do this little one learn how to speak? How do they learn their language? So we're going to look at the thing. First of all, language acquisition is a natural process on how children acquire their language. It's something that just happens to infant naturally, according to where they are, the environment, how you speak to them. So it's just a natural, I can say it's just a natural process where our children acquire language. I'm not going to talk about how they start learning in school, or here is from the time they are born in their womb. How do they learn that language? So it's this process called language acquisition. And language acquisition, it has a process from the baby, from the time the infant has been born, how they grow, how they start acquiring that language. How does all that go? So it goes in some steps, or it follows a procedures. So you can see, like, my little one is now 1 year and 4, but then at least now he has mastered most of the words. But how did he start? First of all, they start babbling. You find that a baby is just babbling, blah, 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 blah. That's a language. That's how they have started. At least they have started saying something. So as they say that babies are not born like tabula rasas, they acquire something. So that language acquisition, they have acquired. So they start like babbling, then they form words, word by word. They can say like maybe dada, mama, they can call their siblings by at least a few words, a few letters in the siblings name. So they acquire that forms of words. They start making phrases, they start making sentences. So you can see, like, my one and a half Joe, my 1.5 year old baby, the way he speaks now. Come baby, come Joe. Come, baby. You see, if I say come, then he comes. Say my baba. 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 So if I tell him to say baba, he says. Say mama. 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 So for him, at least now he has picked a lot of, and he has not gone to school to start learning that. So this is what is called language acquisition. They learn it from home. They learn it in the environment. They learn it the way we speak to them. So the more I speak to him, he understands. Like for him now, he understands almost everything, even though he does not speak. But at least, what's up? At least he has grabbed most of the words. He speaks most of the words. Though not proper sentences, he has not started making maybe a very understandable phrase. So I can say that he's in that stage of making some simple sentences like mama, I want water, mama, I'm hungry. You know, that small language speaking of a baby of 1 year and 4 months. It's actually 1 year and 4 months. So you find that the way he speaks is different from Stani, Joe. So you can see different stages from when the babies grow, different stages. You find that for him, he's still learning, he's still processing words. So it's different from him. For him, he can make sentences, he understands, he can argue. He's 4 years. So you find 1.5 with 4 years, they are two different people. This one is still learning, but this one, he has now grabbed everything. Why has he grabbed everything? The environment that you are living in. He hears me speaking, so he has grabbed. He hears his daddy speaking, he knows, he understands. But he started like him also. He was also babbling. He was also trying to make sentences, calling the same dada, baba, and things. Yeah, you can now go. I was just giving an example. So this is what I mean by language acquisition. It's something they acquire from. It's genetic actually. I can say it's genetic. It's something that they come with, and that's what we call language acquisition. But then you find that they start mimicking. They hear something, then they start mimicking it. They mime. They start saying the same thing as you have said, repeating sounds. You call something, they also repeat. So that's how they pick. That's how they pick. They like they gradually. Now, how grammar is built. So they build that grammar by listening, interaction with the mother. That's why I mostly talk to mothers here. Like mothers will play a bigger role. Also, dad play bigger roles, but mamas, because we are the ones from the time you are breastfeeding, the language you are speaking. Know that what you are speaking, your baby grabs. It stays, it all brings about even the brain development. So we're going to also look at language acquisition. Sometimes it comes with the brain development. The more the brain develops, the more your baby catches up, the more your baby listens, the more your baby talks back, the more your baby, just like that. Because of everything that like in the brain development, it goes down to the language acquisition, the language skills, the interaction. How do you interact? But also this, you should not be very worried. My 1.5-year-old baby is making sentences, is making some few phrases, and you're like, but mine is 1.5 years and is not saying anything. You don't have to worry. This thing, it all starts with the genetic predisposition. Is it genetical predispositions? Something like something that is transferable from parents. You find that if you when you were little, also like your language acquisition was slowly, well, you were catching up slowly, it transfers also to your baby. So your baby may also become like a slow learner, catches up things slowly, takes time to speak, takes time to grab things. You don't have to worry because your 1.5-year-old is not talking yet. Everything goes by step, but encourage the environment. There are some parents whereby we let our babies indoors for so many hours indoors, maybe with their tablets, and maybe they're watching a game. In those games, they are no speaking. Sometimes they even don't speak. They just watch actions. So make sure that you put your baby in an environment whereby the baby can listen. Your baby can listen maybe to music. Your baby maybe can watch some particular cartoon whereby they are speaking, and so he can grab something when he hear. And these kids are very smart, by the way. When my baby watches cartoon, after watching maybe a cartoon has said something, you see that my baby is also mimicking. So they are very smart. So they mimic that sound. If they hear me say something, they also mimic. They say what I've said. So this is how the language is being acquired to children. This is how. Paul. This is how you see now he has come to report, because now he knows everything. If something has he comes and then reports things like that. That's how children are. So parents, I would just like to encourage you to encourage your babies, your little ones, to speak, and you speak to them. If you don't speak to them, they will not acquire this language, because this thing is naturally, it happens according to the environment, genetics, how you interact with them. This is how it brings all about language acquisition. So how is your baby? What level is your baby? Just put in the comment section and tell me which level your baby is. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening to this video, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.